From our studios at the corner of 8th and Walton in Bentonville, Arkansas, welcome to Saturday Morning Meeting. Brought to you in part by Dun & Bradstreet Credibility Corp. Saturday Morning Meeting covers Walmart, Sam's Club, and the consumer product companies that are represented on the racks and shelves throughout the country and around the world. I'm Andy Schuch, filling in for Derek Ridenoure today. Derek is spending time with his new son, Blake Davis Ridenoure. Congratulations, Derek and family, and welcome to the world, Blake. Our focus is on the insights, trends, and best practices to help you as a supplier grow your business with the world's largest retailer. Thank you for joining us. Now, coming up today, I'll be talking with economist Henry Ho from Field Agent, and reviewing the week's top news stories with me are Ross Cully and Ken SImpson. But first, the headlines. Associated Press reports that consumer spending rose 0.3% in February, according to the Commerce Department. Now, the increase follows declines in both December and January. Analysts suggest that the brutal weather condition in December and January contributed to slow sales. ArkansasMatters.com reports on the opening of the first Walmart to-go store in Bentonville. Now, that's not to be confused with the pilot online pickup service that Walmart is testing in Denver and San Jose. Walmart to-go is a hybrid convenience store that sells gas, staples, and prepared meals for dining at home. A Walmart spokesperson claims that there are no plans to roll out additional to-go stores in the near future. Walmart Canada is celebrating its 20th anniversary up north, even as other retailers, such as Target, struggle to connect with the Canadian market. TheSpec.com reports that Walmart plans several events to mark the occasion, including a cost of living summit in Toronto. Walmart operates 389 stores in Canada, employing 95,000 associates. Fertilizer is one of the biggest sources of pollution in lakes and rivers, and Walmart could significantly reduce its negative impact. USA Today reports that Walmart's fertilizer optimization plan is catching on with some farmers. Now, responding to concerns by government agencies and activists, Walmart has begun a program that asks farmers to optimize and therefore minimize the amount of fertilizer used in growing produce. Farmers are interested in the plan, in part because fertilizer represents a significant operating expense. A recent article published at Fortune.com and Time argues that traditional supermarkets are on the way out. Writer Dan Mitchell notes that consumers are looking for healthier foods, lower prices, and a greater variety of items. Now, these trends drive shoppers to natural and specialty grocers, such as Trader Joe's and Whole Foods, as well as dollar stores and even online grocers. Now, such changes in shopping habits have left ordinary grocers scrambling. Finally, the bloggers over at The Consumerist have made a disconcerting observation about Walmart's highly regarded White Cloud toilet paper. Apparently, the rolls have shrunk in width from 4.2 to 3.9 inches wide. This results in 30 fewer square feet of toilet paper per 18-roll pack. So, let's see, that would, well, never mind. No word from Walmart or White Cloud on the change, but we hope the discrepancy gets sorted out in the end. Check out Walmart News as it's reported on walmartnewsnow.com. All right, we're now joined by our panel, Ken SImpson from Clorox and Ross Cully from the Harvest Group. Welcome, gentlemen. Glad you could make it today. Time to say goodbye to your supermarket. Fortune magazine and Time magazine just had an article talking about that. Time to say goodbye to your supermarket. Now, we added hello to Walmart to go. Well, let's first talk about the supermarket. What does it mean when they say goodbye? Ken?
Well, there's a lot changing there. You know, you can even start with the fact that you go back 16 years. What did Walmart have? What was their share of the
4%?
4%.
Yeah.
Now it's 30. I mean,
in grocery.
In grocery, yeah. So
yeah.
that's a big change just right there. And now today you have all the competitors, whether it's Costco, whether it's e-commerce, Amazon type competitors. So then you put the fact that the consumer is also changing the way they shop. It's no wonder that there needs to be changes made by retailers to survive. But that's always been the case.
Yeah.
If you don't change along with the consumer, you don't survive. There's lots of examples.
Well, you've been seeing that with Walmart, changing with the to-go concept and some of the other things that they're doing. Ross, what do you think about what's happening with Safeway and Cerebus and this merger that's happening and how it's going to kind of change the landscape?
Yeah, it's definitely big news. I think it's big news from what it tells about our time that we're in. But the combined market share, once the merger goes through, is just over 5%. So it's not
5%.
It's not that it is this huge market play, but I think it's telling of some mistakes Safeway made strategically in not responding to the changes that the consumer's going through. And it's just telling to me on the phenomenon of trip type and how that's changing. The traditional grocery store used to be one of several trips in the week, and now you see people going to Walmart making one trip, or they're going to a specialty grocer like Trader Joe's or Whole Foods. And so a lot of pressure on that channel of trade. And if I'm a supplier, the thing that I want to be studying is trip type and how that relates to my product line.
So how do you think that plays in? The article talked a little bit about the pressure that the traditional grocery stores are feeling, and they're feeling it on both sides. Walmart not feeling it quite as much on the Whole Food and Trader Joe's side. The Walmart stores don't seem, the article didn't say that they seem to get quite as much pressure, but the traditional grocery stores did. How do you see Walmart responding to some of this? I mean, we've seen it now with the to-go, and you guys just came back from the year beginning meeting. Can you share a little bit about what the to-go concept is and how you think that may help them as a competitive advantage?
Well, certainly to-go is part of their small store strategy, although, you know, they say that they don't have any plans right now to expand more to-go type convenience stores. They have this one store.
They got the one store here in Bentonville. Yep.
But they certainly do have a significant strategy when it comes to small stores, and in fact they also just announced that they're increasing their capital budget for adding small stores this current fiscal year. In fact, I think they added like something around $1 billion to build more small stores. So that's a very important strategy for them. So
they build the small stores, and they said the word tethering. What does that word tethering mean? What did that mean?
Yeah, I think they're innovating in the space of trying to capture all the different trip types. And so where the supercenter or the supermarket has been caught flat-footed, they're trying to stay ahead of the consumer. And so there's a couple concepts that they've announced they're working on. So tethering is one of them, where they'll put small stores surrounding supercenters, and those supercenters will serve as essentially small distribution centers to put merchandise in there. And so the to-go convenience store here in Bentonville is tethered to the supercenter here in Bentonville.
So for a supplier, they ship their products into that store 100, right? In this to-go concept is tethered to that store.
It is.
Well, the supplier ships into the DC.
To the DC.
The DC
ships it to store 100.
Right.
And the inventory that the supplier is looking at could be at this to-go concept, and then maybe someday could be at an express store tethered to that store, or maybe something else tethered to that store. Is that kind of what the idea is?
Yeah, it is. And so it'll be interesting to see from a data standpoint how we'll be able to look into these tethering ecosystems that they're building. Right now, you would just see store 100 in retail.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I think an interesting part of this whole concept about tethering and the convenience stores and all that I've thought about, and I really got the idea when I went to this fairly new Harps that's also in Bentonville. You know, ever notice in that store they have essentially a grocery store, but within that grocery store in one corner is a convenience store, and right outside of that are the gas pumps. And you know, I think the opportunity for Walmart could be well, they already have convenience stores in their parking lots. They're mainly owned, I think, by Murphy Oil, but what if they either acquired those locations, those little or built a small convenience store in their current parking lot?
Well, the only problem with the parking lot, though, is the traffic. I mean, having it a little bit away from it really is an advantage. And even with their to-go concept as far as the delivery, the home delivery, they were looking at, you know, rather than coming and picking, well, they had two options. It was Denver and San Francisco. And in the Denver, they actually had an option where you could order the groceries or order online and then go to a spot that was separate from where the supercenter was at, where you could go pick it up. And I would think the reason they would do that is because of traffic, right?
Yeah, again, it's they're responding to how the consumer's changing and how she shops. And so whether it's a depot where it's completely different location from Walmart where you go pick up an online order, whether it's picking it up at the store or them delivering it at your home, all three of those options are part of that test in Denver and San Francisco. they're testing all of that to see how can we merge digital and our physical locations together and meet the shopper and how she's changing those habits. And so I think, again, the message here, if you're a retailer or a supplier, is, do I know my shopper, and have I studied my trip type to understand how she's shopping my category, my products?
Well, I think that's what they're doing. They're listening to the consumer, because the consumer was telling them that they wanted the option of going and picking it up, because they could maybe pick up some other items if they wanted to, rather than just always having it delivered to their home. So it sounds like they're listening.
Well, there's another issue there too. You know, some people don't want things delivered to their home or their apartment.
Yeah.
They want them to so delivering to a locker, like they have their, using lockers, where it's put in a locker, then you go and pick it up from the locker. You know, if you think about this small store strategy, this is actually brilliant in that you have all these smaller stores nearer the consumer. If they're ordering online and they want to pick up, it's very convenient. Now they can just go to this smaller store and pick up what they're ordering online.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think this whole strategy is as much about growing the business as it is protecting against leakage. So if you look at the supermarket as a lesson, they didn't innovate into how the shopper was shopping, and their share leaked. And so I think Walmart has that same challenge ahead of them. The good news is, I think, for anyone connected with Walmart, is they're responding through innovating.
Oh, yeah, it's great. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for coming in today. All right, well, stay tuned. When we come back, we'll be talking with Henry Ho from Field Agent.
Bentonville Plaza, across the street from the Walmart home office. The best office location for businesses working with the world's largest retailer. Bentonville Plaza offers proximity and services like no other business complex in the area, including custom-designed suites and an on-site fitness center and restaurant. Pre-leasing opportunities are currently available for new construction. Call 479-200-1112 today.
Experience the unique cooling sensation of frozen yogurt. New Dial Frozen Yogurt Body Wash. Wrap your skin in cooling moisture. For skin so refreshingly soft, people will notice. Dial. Healthier skin, healthier you.
K-Stack, the leader in collaborative retail consolidation programs. We offer the supply chain expertise needed to navigate the challenges of selling products with the world's largest retailers. And we provide customers with a customizable, scalable, environmentally sustainable supply chain with the same advanced technology typically used by larger rivals. By leveling the playing field, K-Stack lowers distribution costs and increases overall margins. K-Stack, retail logistics is what we do.
The Northwest Arkansas Children's Shelter Starlight Gala just got squared. Hot country couple Thompson Square will light up the John Q. Hammond Center Saturday, April 26th. It's a night of elegance, entertainment, and hope for abused kids to the power of two, with amazing live and silent auctions and a chance to give abused kids hope for a better life. For sponsorship and ticket information, visit our website today. Be there April 26th and get squared with KNWA and Fox 24.
8th and Walton, the premier destination for Walmart supplier education. When and where you want to learn. Current, accurate, relevant, taught by suppliers, for suppliers. 8th and Walton.
I would recommend 8th and Walton to other suppliers because from my experience talking to other suppliers, they were even learning new ideas or just new and better business practices.
Most people have little time for training, and so 8th and Walton is a perfect opportunity to send your new employees to understand the retailing system. And again, because trainers were suppliers, they know the how and the why, so they become very valuable very quickly.
All right, well, welcome back to Saturday Morning Meeting. We are here today with Henry Ho, co-founder of Field Agent. Henry, welcome.
It's good to be here, Andy.
All right, well, we're so glad to have you here. Well, Henry, tell me a little bit about, you've got a real true entrepreneurial spirit. And in starting out Field Agent, tell me how you kind of started it, how you branded it, and how it really just kind of came into existence.
Yeah, it was a cold winter's day in 2009.
That's a good way to start.
Yeah, it's just kind of like today. And we were sitting in a conference room, and the iPhone was about 18 months old. And we brainstormed around ways to use technology to bring value to the vendor and the retailer community.
Okay.
And we came up with this idea that there were some gaps in what people could see what was going on in stores, and that technology can help close that gap. And we sat on the idea for 6 months thinking that someone else was going to has already done this great idea. As true entrepreneurs, we kept on going after and saying, somebody's got to be doing this.
Yeah.
And what we found out by the middle of 2009, nobody was doing it. And so we put together a development team, and then we worked nights and weekends and early mornings to develop it and put the business plan together.
And where did Field Agent, how did that name come up?
No, it was, we come from the marketing side of things, and there was a brainstorming session. We came up with several different options, and we landed on Field Agent. It was unique. It talked about being out in the field and about being an agent for our clients, whether they're CPG brands or retailers.
So as you and I were talking about this earlier, you talked about that there was a common problem that was kind of going on in the field out there. What was that common problem that you were kind of seeing out during that time?
Yeah, at that time, I had close to 30 years of experience in the CPG and retail business. And one of the things that, in talking to our friends and people in the retailing business, was they had a gap in being able to see what was really going on in the store.
Okay.
And programs that they put together, and they were working in collaboration with retailers. But by the time it got to the retailer and then out to the stores, they didn't have good visibility. We wanted to help people close that gap. And we also wanted to bring in the shopper, the customer, into the picture.
Okay.
We thought that Field Agent could bring the shopper into that problem-solving mode of being part of the solution for our clients.
So give me an example of how a supplier uses your service. Okay, so as I understand it, you've got crowdsourcing, right? So you've got about 300,000 or 400,000 people across the U.S. that have mobile devices, right? And a supplier comes in, signs up for this, and then can do what? What type of projects or what types of things can be used?
There's really two main tracks in which people use our service.
Okay.
And it's all under the broader umbrella of mobile research. Mobile research to see what was going on in the store, so price checks, audits of your promotion campaigns, looking at signage and asking shoppers what they think of that.
Now, those are the typical things that suppliers have been doing for years, right? I mean, they've been. This is a typical thing that they would hire a company to go out and take care of that for them, right? Check on prices, make sure the product's on the shelf, and doing those types of things. What makes Field Agent different?
The thing that makes Field Agent different is the idea of crowdsourcing.
Okay.
As you mentioned already, we have over 300,000 agents here in the U.S. that have downloaded our app and are ready to do work at any given moment. And so for our clients, they have the power of 300,000 shoppers ready to tell them what's going on in the store. You no longer have to go and wait a couple of weeks to get an answer to a question that a buyer may have given you at a meeting. Or a buyer calls you up and say, hey, can you help me figure out something going on, whether it's pricing or a competitive perspective and all those things.
So a supplier can use these not just for Walmart, but they could use this. I mean, I could send somebody to Target, I could send somebody to some other retailer.
Yeah.
I could send them to just about anywhere, isn't it?
Yeah, we have basically done work in every retailer, major retailer, and some not so major retailers.
Okay.
You know, we're currently doing a project in the Hispanic channel, for example. We're going into Hispanic channels and helping a client figure out what's going on in terms of distribution and pricing and all those things.
All right, thank you, Henry. We'll have more with Henry Ho when Saturday Morning Meeting continues right after the break.
Imagine what it would be like if you knew the weather up to a year in advance. What would you do differently for your business or your life? At Weather Trends, we don't imagine it. We do it. We're a team of meteorologists, mathematicians, and business weather advisors. And we've spent the last 20 years developing a new way to forecast months in advance. We've been studying weather's effect on product sales based on every 1 degree change in temperature. We can now take your sales data and show you exactly how the weather impacts your business down to a single degree. We're leading the way into a new era in forecasting and a new power in business decisions. And we invite you to join us. Welcome to Weather Trends.
You know, the biggest challenge of working with Walmart is they really expect everyone on the team to know their language, know their terminology, and know exactly how they do business. So that's where 8th and Walton really comes into play. You know, it's the fastest way to get my team members up to speed.
Their business model is suppliers teaching suppliers. So when you come to 8th and Walton, you can count on having very experienced trainers who understand how suppliers work within Walmart, and they take advantage of that and incorporate that into their curriculum.
Beaver Lake serves as the drinking water source for 1 in 7 Arkansans. Did you know that your actions can impact the quality of water in Beaver Lake? The Beaver Watershed Alliance is working to proactively protect, enhance, and sustain the water quality of Beaver Lake. With the help of partners, volunteers, and people like you, the Alliance is making a difference in Northwest Arkansas. Please learn more about your role in preserving the water quality of the Beaver Watershed and about how you can get actively involved. Visit beaverwatershedalliance.org. Beaver Watershed, our environment, our health, our home.
Are you a single parent struggling to meet your family's needs? Single Parent Scholarship Fund is here to help. Single Parent Scholarship Fund of Northwest Arkansas helps hundreds of single parents get an education. By providing scholarships and support, a brighter future is right around the corner for you and your family.
I'm Andrea. I'm a 2011 UA graduate with a degree in elementary education. Single Parent Scholarship Fund made that possible. My son Jaden is proud of his mama, and it's inspired him to do well in school.
All right, welcome back to Saturday Morning Meeting. We're here with Henry Ho, co-founder of Field Agent. So Henry, before the break, we were talking a little bit about insights and some of the different ways that Field Agent can be used by suppliers. So one of the biggest needs that suppliers have is insights. Okay,
Yes.
I know more and more. It used to be that selling to Walmart or selling to anybody, it was really about relationship, right? Hey, I got this great product. It's wonderful. I know everybody's going to love it. Let's put it in the stores and see if it sells. And that's getting harder to do at store level.
Yes.
How is Field Agent working? Can you give me some examples of what Field Agent is doing as far as helping suppliers understand who their consumer is, who's buying it, why they're buying it, how they like the packaging? Give me some examples of how people are using Field Agent for that.
Yeah, we had talked earlier about the broad umbrella of mobile research. We talked a little bit about audits and kind of seeing what's going on in the store. The next two places where we play, I think, is very valuable to suppliers and even to retailers, is understanding what's going on in the mindset and the sentiment of the shopper as he or she is shopping the store. And so we have the ability through photos and through video and audio to really capture the shopper's experience as they go through that path of purchase. Inside a store. So as they go into and look at a new modular, hey, what do you see that's different here? And tell us about, a client may want to understand whether a vertical brand block is something that's effective for the shopper.
So how does a supplier use that information?
They take that information, and many of our clients will use either their own research agency, and we give them the data, or in other cases, we have clients who say, hey, would you do that research for us? And we have an arm in our company that does the research and then processes the data and drives the insights and then delivers reports. So we have developed a process so that anybody can use us, depending whether they have their own agencies or their own research people, or we do it for them.
Wow, amazing.
I'll add one more thing, is that in addition to what's going on in the store, as you know, the path to purchase starts at home.
Right.
And so we start lots of work with clients that want to understand what the consumer or the shopper is doing before he or she goes to the store. Or how do they use this product? How do they store it? It's not uncommon for some food companies to say, hey, take us through this meal preparation process, and we'll develop a project. So give me an example
of that. So let's say that we wanted to do, I'm working for a CPG company, and I wanted to understand that. What exactly, and this would be your person, right? The 300,000 people out there. Somebody would take the job, right? And then they would go home and they would do what?
Yeah, I'll give you a story. The multi-phase, someone, they want to know, what do they do to buy the ingredients for dinner? And what do they do after they get home? And then what does a meal look like at the end of the cooking process? So we'll put a job out and say, hey, we want a job done between 5:30 and 6:30.
And is it a specific products that you want them to go out and buy? Or is it just whatever meal that they're going to be making that day?
We're saying, hey, if you're making dinner, go through these aisles, and it depends on the project.
Okay.
But we'll track the path to purchase through a store during that peak shopping time.
Okay.
And then we'll say, hey, when you get home, will you take a picture of your receipt to show the ingredients that you bought, and then go make the meal, show us all the stuff that you're making, and then show us the final, you know, the dish and the dinner that you made, and then tell us what you thought, you know. And so that whole path to purchase has been outlined and captured for our client.
So, and the other good thing too, I think with Field Agent, and you and I talked a little bit about this, is how quick you can get that information back, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's...
We love to amaze.
Yeah, exactly.
We constantly get people say, this is amazing. I didn't think you could do this in a couple days or in 48 hours. We've even turned projects around in 24 hours, depending on the project, the complexity of it. But many times we'll get a, man, my boss or the DMM wants this, you know, on Friday.
Yeah,
we'll get a call on Wednesday.
Right.
And we can turn something like that around.
Right.
We don't want everything to be an emergency, but we can turn stuff around.
Now you're local. You started
Yes.
your company here in Northwest Arkansas, and you employ people here in this area. I know I've got friends of mine, their sons and daughters work for you, and which has been great for the local economy here. And you also employ 300,000 people across the U.S. They use this thing as a part-time job or something like that, and which I think is great that you do that for people, and it's easy to sign up. Somebody can just go to fieldagent.net, or is how they go, and they can sign up and they can get and become one of your agents.
Absolutely. We would love that, and anybody can become a client as well. Come on our website, and we'll love to serve you.
All right, thank you, Henry. Saturday morning meeting, we'll be right back.
Discover our revolutionary lotion-infused body wash, New Dial Vitamin Boost, and wrap your skin in nourishing softness. For healthy, soft skin, people will notice. Dial. Healthier skin, healthier you.
GigWalk is an on-demand mobile workforce that can collect data and do work at retail. Businesses use GigWalk for retail audits, merchandising, and much more. With 350,000 smartphone-enabled workers available on demand, you get unprecedented speed and coverage across the US, Canada, and the UK. And all work is reviewed for quality and accuracy. Visit gigwalk.com to learn more.
8th and Walton, the premier destination for Walmart supplier education. When and where you want to learn. Current, accurate, relevant, taught by suppliers, for suppliers. 8th and Walton.
The Northwest Arkansas Children's Shelter Starlight Gala just got squared. Hot country couple Thompson Square will light up the John Q. Hammond Center Saturday, April 26th. It's a night of elegance, entertainment, and hope for abused kids to the power of 2, with amazing live and silent auctions and a chance to give abused kids hope for a better life. For sponsorship and ticket information, visit our website today. Be there April 26th and get squared with KNWA and Fox 24.
Are you a single parent struggling to meet your family's needs? Single Parent Scholarship Fund is here to help. Single Parent Scholarship Fund of Northwest Arkansas helps hundreds of single parents get an education. By providing scholarships and support, a brighter future is right around the corner for you and your family.
I'm Andrea. I'm a 2011 UA graduate with a degree in elementary education. Single Parent Scholarship Fund made that possible. My son Jaden is proud of his mama, and it's inspired him to do well in school.
I would recommend 8th and Walton to other suppliers because from my experience talking to other suppliers, they were even learning new ideas or just new and better business practices.
Most people have little time for training, and so 8th and Walton is a perfect opportunity to send your new employees to understand the retailing system. And again, because trainers were suppliers, they know the how and the why, so they become very valuable very quickly.
8th and Walton and the Harvest Group began emailing their supplier survey this week. Respondents will be invited to a walkthrough of the results in June. Go to Saturday@8thandwalton.com to request a survey. Responses will be treated as highly confidential. Next week, our featured guest is Tim Robinson, Director of Walmart's Dry Grocery Baking Team. Our thanks to Henry Ho and today's panelists, and we always appreciate your taking the time to join us. See you next week.